Hey guys, this is Sam the Community Gardener. So today we are down in Middle Georgia where we live, and it is February the 12th, and the weather has been absolutely beautiful today. I mean, who lives in February, or who lives somewhere in the South where in February in Georgia it is about 70 degrees. So today it was such a beautiful day, I decided to bring a number of my house plants outside and let them get some sunshine and give them a little watering, because they've been inside the whole winter. I've kept them in near a large window so that they could get some level of sunshine. So I wanted to just go around and show you some of my plants that are indoor plants. We have not started. We've just started to get started on preparing our garden for the spring and summer. So that is later to come. Right now, I'm going to show you some of the plants that I've brought out to get some sunshine. So bear with me and I'll be back to you soon. Okay guys, so we're going over towards some of our plants now, and I will go to them. I'm going to show you what they are. I'll start with this one. This is a what's called a Hawaiian tie plant, or some may even call it a Cardoline red sister. But notice the beautiful red foliage. This is a young one, I'm sure. I'm very hopeful that it'll continue to grow, and it's absolutely gorgeous, just beautiful. Then we'll come down here, and I want to show you one that my son gave me as a gift. This is a Monstera plant. Now these plants can be very, very expensive. This is a very young one. He cut a piece of his off and rooted it for me and gave it to me. So it's a very beautiful plant, and we're just very fortunate to have it, and we're very hopeful that it will grow and be a very beautiful plant. The next one to this is a snake plant. Some people call it a snake, and sometimes people confuse them with the mother-in-law's tongue. This one I think is a snake plant. Notice the snake-like colors in the foliage. It's very beautiful. My wife saw this one somewhere and she saw it one day and came home and told me, oh, they got them on sale, I gotta get it. So we went back and we got this one, and as you can see, it's probably 3.5, maybe 4 feet tall, but very, very beautiful. And I'm thinking it's gonna continue to grow, especially as the weather warms up. Okay, this next one is it's a croton, but it's called a Petra croton. I wanted to get close up on it so you can see some of the reds in the colors. And if you look at those leaves closely, you'll see some beautiful reds in some of them, and they have beautiful reds and yellows and greens, and they're very, very beautiful. So we're looking forward to this one growing as well. Next to this one, it's just kind of one of the Dracaenas. The Dracaenas basically are some type of palm. Again, my wife saw this one. There were three in the pot, and we got this one for, I think it was $9, and we got 3 plants out of it. Here's one, there's another one there, and there's another one there. So we're looking forward to those growing very, very well, you know. And then this next one was given to me by my daughter. My daughter knows that I love plants, and she's always wishing me well. So this particular plant is one that they call a money tree. Many times when you see them, the trunk is braided. If you can look closely at that, you'll see that the trunk of this one is braided as well. It's been doing very, very well. It's very beautiful. The foliage is absolutely green, and I think we've been doing a good job. My wife really opens the blinds and the windows and makes sure that it gets the sunlight it needs. So that's very, very beautiful, and we love that. Now I'm going to go down to one that one of our good friends passed away a couple of years ago, and his daughter wanted me to have this particular plant. It was probably a foot tall when I got it, but now it's more like 2.5, maybe 3 feet. This is what some call a dumb cane. I have no idea why they call it a dumb cane, but if you can look closely in there, you'll see a kind of a cane-like structure on the bottom of it and what it's growing on. So maybe that has something to do with it. But it's a very beautiful plant. It's done very well, and I'm very proud of it. And the last one that I want to show you from the ones that I brought outside is my corn plant. This corn plant was in my office before I retired, and it has grown so much over the last couple of years. It was a little small thing, and I thought it was not going to make it, but it's very, very beautiful corn plant. I expect it to get maybe another foot of growth in the spring and summer. So those are my indoor plants, and I will walk around and show you guys some of the other plants that we've been dealing with and being very hopeful of. I'm going to take you over here to this is a loquat tree. Now, I planted this one from a seed. It's about 2.5, maybe 3 feet tall now. I had put it in the ground at one point. It's an evergreen, so it stays outside the whole winter. It kept its leaves. It stayed outside the whole winter, and I'm very hopeful that at some point I will be able to put it in the ground again and hopefully get some fruit. It develops these fruit that look like almost like about the size of a plum. Has like 3 little seeds inside. And some people call them a Japanese plum tree. And from what I understand, they're very delicious. This particular tree, I planted it maybe this is the 3rd year. But when I planted it, it was only about 6 inches tall. And it's doing very, very well. It is now about 4 feet tall. And this is a tea olive plant. This is probably one of my wife's favorite plants because it gives off a very beautiful fragrance. If you look closely at those little white flowers on it, that's where that beautiful fragrance comes from. And it is absolutely a smell that you'll never forget. But it's doing well. I expect about 2 feet of growth out of that this year. Let's walk over a little further. As you guys know, about 2 years ago, I planted this Satsuma orange tree. It's grown a lot because it was about 2 feet tall when I planted it. So now if I stand the whole thing up like this, you know, it's probably 8 feet tall. So it's really growing well, and we're very proud that it's doing well, and we're just looking forward to when we can get some oranges from it. Hopefully this fall, or this winter rather, next winter. We're leaving winter now. Here's my little palm tree. It looks like the winter tried to do it in, but I think it'll bounce back as the weather starts to get warm a little bit. So we're very proud of that. We planted that. It was just maybe a few inches when we planted it. Now it looks like it's a couple of feet tall, you know, if you stood it up. So it's doing very, very well. Let's walk over here. I have a couple of other plants that I'd like for you to take a look at. And we're walking across to I think to the north end of the property now, just so you can see. Remember I said I had that loquat plant in the ground. Well, I took it up and I replaced it with a larger one because I want fruit sooner than later. So I'm gonna let you see this this larger loquat tree, and I know that we'll get some fruit off of this one this year more than likely. So this is the loquat that I planted here. It's grown maybe a foot, but it's doing very well. These trees can get 18 feet tall and 18 feet wide, so it's going to do very well. It's going to provide quite a few fruit for us, so we're very proud of that. Now, last year, I planted a pomegranate tree. It hasn't done much growth yet. I'm going to just show you. I'll have to get close up on it so you can see it. But this is a pomegranate tree. And I'll get close because it's still very, very small. There's no leaves on it now. I'm hopeful that once I start fertilizing it, as the weather warms up a little bit, that it will shoot out some more leaves and hopefully at some point give us some nice pomegranate fruit. So now we're gonna walk over to where a couple of years ago we planted a couple of peach trees. And I pruned them all the way back this year because they didn't do much. They only had 1 or 2 fruit last year, and I pruned them back this year. So the one that we're approaching now, this is a Florida King peach tree. I've pruned it all the way back, and I'm very hopeful that this year I'll get more fruit off of it. It's a Florida King. Peaches are very well known, and Georgia's known for having peaches. So we're hopeful that this will start making some beautiful fruit. And then this particular peach tree, I've pruned it back as well. If you look at it, it looks almost like a stick, but it has grown significantly since I first planted it. This is an Alberta peach tree, and I'm very hopeful that this year it'll give me some peaches, but we'll see. We'll see. And then as we move over here, I also, when I planted the peach tree, I think I also planted this, what we call an Arosa plum tree. Now I've pruned it back as well, but this is my Arosa plum tree. You can see I've pruned it. This should be the year that it will give us some fruit. So we just have to get our fertilizer calendar together and make sure that we're doing everything to get the fruit. Now this particular plum tree, it was cultivated by Auburn University. They call it AU Rosa, Arosa. The AU is for Auburn University. So we're very hopeful that this will, and it grows those huge, very, very dark colored plums that everybody seems to love. So I'm very hopeful that I'll have some right here on my own tree. Okay, so moving over a little further now, I planted 2 blueberry bushes a couple of years ago. Now they haven't grown very much, but for the last 2 years they have been putting off growing blueberries. However, the birds seem to get to them before I can get to them. And this particular one here, I'll get a close-up here, but this particular one is one that's called a Brightwell blueberry plant. That's the variety, a Brightwell. It grows the huge dark blueberries that everybody loves. And then right over from it, let's go over to this one. This is another one that, and this one also gave us some fruit last year. We didn't try to eat them because the birds kind of beat us to them. But this particular one is what we call a climax. This is a climax blueberry plant. And we're very hopeful this year we'll try to, maybe we'll cover it with some kind of netting so that the birds won't get to it before we do. So guys, we're just getting started for this year, and we're very hopeful for all of our plants. Let me just turn around here. So guys, this is Sam the Community Gardener. We're kind of preparing our garden for the spring and summer. All of the plants are doing well. So hey guys, I will see you next time in the garden. Stay green.